What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward, and some very, very important tests that are coming to the markets very soon. But let me just mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. And the offer is very soon, in just about 12 days from now. Anyways, I just wanted to mention on SPY, we had this big red bar yesterday, only to see some buyers kind of defend it at that 550 area. And we called out some very, very critical supports yesterday to watch for. So far, these supports are still holding SPY up. And we do have a double bottom like structure, which could lead to a bounce. But just for confirmation, we will see if we end up getting some kind of bounce or not, if we could break some key levels. So I'll be watching this very, very carefully and talk more about this in just a few minutes. Just know that for today, it's Friday, July 19th. And we don't really have much going on. We just have Williams and Boston giving speeches and no other major pieces of data. There's some big news that came out. There's a huge Microsoft outage linked to CrowdStrike, which takes down computers all over the world. The issue with this is it's affecting all kinds of airlines, all kinds of different companies out there. It's affecting some different TV stations, healthcare organizations, hotels, and all kinds of other businesses. This is very negative news. That's why CrowdStrike is kind of tanking. We're also seeing Microsoft dip a little bit in the pre-market sessions. So this is not the best of news. And I really hope for the best for the companies. I hope that they actually give us some updates from their cybersecurity end and that they help improve these issues because it's affecting the lives of a lot of people all over the world. And it's something that's worth noting. Now, there's also news coming out that American Express just had earnings. So I'll give you guys an updated calendar in a couple of hours once it comes out. But American Express has its earnings, and they actually did relatively well. We actually saw some nice increases. Also, I just wanted to say that we had basically saw them lift their profit forecast, and they also did relatively well with EPS and revenue being above expectations. Not bad whatsoever. Good guidance too. So we'll see what happens with Amex moving forward. But that's pretty much it for my analysis of the news. I just want to focus now on the charts for the next 6 minutes or so. So on SPY, we have a nice double bottom like structure, and this could actually lead to a move to the upside. I'm going to be looking at this area of interest around this 553.8 area. And if we manage to break through this, I'm going to be looking for a target of 555. That's going to be our next target up there. If we reject here, we'll be looking for support at 552. If that fails us, 550.5 is a critical support, and so is 548.5. If we lose this one right here, 548, there's going to be a much larger rug pull. So those are going to be your levels to watch for. Right now, SPY is trying to push in the pre-market session, and we have a double bottom, which suggests that upside is possible. So I'm going to be looking for a test of 555, I think is very probable. And then we'll have to see what kind of reaction we get. Does SPY kind of push to 555 and then reject, or do we end up breaking through it and start pushing higher? So look for that big test going into today. I am seeing some potential for this to try to test that resistance. Also, guys, on the 4-hour time frame, there's some potential for a 555 test. We're actually seeing this on both our 4-hour and 30 minutes time frames. So I'm seeing a confluence of indicators that show that. So I'll be looking to see if SPY could try to kind of balance just temporarily for the time being. For Nvda, we're also kind of range bound, but there is this imbalance to fill up here. So I do see potential for it to try to get higher towards like 122. If we break past 123, also on the 4-hour time frame, I think we have a big gap to fill above. So if we break this resistance at the 20 EMA, 123, we have this big gap to fill, which could get filled at 125. And if we reject very close to this range at 122 to 123, we'll be dipping back down towards 119. But overall, I would say that Nvidia has more upside potential. I think it has potential to push higher. Going to be looking for a big test between 122 and 123, and we'll have to see what kind of reaction we get. But that's something else that's worth noting. For Bitcoin is trying to rebound a bit. Make sure you look at this imbalance up here around 65,000. And we also have support at 63,922. If this fails, this will be dipping even lower. So I see potential for us to try to rebound, and we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. I just wanted to say that Bitcoin on the 4-hour is looking a little bit more bullish. I could be looking for a test of 64,500 and eventually 65,000. But then we'll see what kind of reaction we get. I think it might push a little higher just temporarily. For Tesla, like I said earlier, we're kind of flat right now in the pre-market. It's just getting tighter and tighter. A little bit of a downtrend right here, but nothing too serious. And the reason for that is because I think that we might get another consolidation day. We might just trade sideways a little bit longer. We have support currently around this 246 to 247.5 area. And our resistance we're watching is all the way up to about 258. Notice how Tesla's been going back and forth for about 3 days. So it might be a little push upon open to test our EMAs right over here. But then if it breaks these EMAs in the low 250 area, we could be going up to 252.8. And if we fail to do so, we could be seeing a rejection. But as long as we're between 246 and 255, we're going to likely remain range bound. That's the most likely possibility. There's a bit of a downtrend on Tesla, so it might dip a little lower. But like I said before, I'm not too worried because what usually happens is we have earnings next week, right? So that's when we start to see more volatility and we kind of like remain stagnant the week before. That's very common. So we might see Tesla not really do a whole lot for today, but going into next week on Monday, that's when things are going to go bananas. That's when we're going to see some more volatility as we approach earnings. For the QQQ, I think we have this resistance to be watching for at 482. If we break through this 482 area, I could be looking for 486. If we reject here, we're going to be dipping lower. So watch 476 as key support. If that fails, let's watch 472. That's kind of like the range on the triple Q. So look for a little rebound attempt for about 482. And we'll see what kind of reaction we get, not to mention 486. Once again, if we lose 480, look at 476 and 472 as supports. But for now, I do see an attempt to kind of rebound a bit on the QQQ. I'm a bit concerned because of Microsoft and the others, so it might just be a small push for 482. And we'll see if we get a rejection or not. So just be very, very careful and very patient with this one. For Aapl, we're going to be testing 226.5 as resistance. If that breaks, look for 228. If this rejects, we're going to be dipping back down to 222. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, the 4 hour is showing a little bit of weakness. We're kind of rejecting off 226, so this could actually see a big move to the downside. We'll see if that ends up being the case, but just be very, very careful at this resistance. I think Aapl may attempt to go a little higher. We'll see if we reject off 226 or not. If not, look for 228 as our next potential target. Overall, Apple's trying to rebound. I think it might rebound a little bit higher. There's potential for it to try to bounce a bit, but then we'll see if we get a rejection or not. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're kind of shuffling right now at this 218 area. If we fail to hold 218, I think we could come down to fill the gap towards 213. If we hold above 218, we could try to rebound to 220. So look at 218 as a key level. There is a risk of downside if 218 breaks. For coin is trying to rebound, but look at resistance at 238. If that breaks, we're going all the way up to about 244. If it rejects, look at 232. For Amazon, we're kind of rejecting here. Look at 180 as critical support. Excuse me, we got to hold this. If it doesn't hold, we'll be tipping all the way down towards 178. We also have this resistance at 182. So we'll just have to wait and see how things go. Just note the 4 hours looking a little bit more bearish, at least for now. So give this a little bit more time. For Meta, we're trying to rebound a bit. Look at 484 as resistance. We'll see if we reject or not, but I think it might rebound a bit. We also have 480. So watch 480 and 484 as two levels on Meta. We'll see if we reject or not off one of those, but I do think we could be testing at least 480. Microsoft is looking a little bit more bearish to me, this setup right now, especially after we have that negative news. I think it might continue to dip, and we could be looking for a move back into the 420s. So just be careful. The chart looks a little bit more bearish, so be careful with that. Google's also trying to rebound. I think it might be trying to test 182, and then we'll see what kind of reaction we get. Might try to pop a bit, then we'll see if we reject or not, but just be careful with that. Look for a temporary rebound on Google as well. With that being said, guys, that's it for my video. I want to thank you all so much for listening. Just be very careful with the markets. There might be a rebound attempt that could be made, but watch and see if the market establishes a lower high and gets a big rejection, or if we break past resistance. SPY is going to be watching 555 as a key level. We'll see if we test that, and if we reject off that, there's going to be a big move to the downside. If we break through it, we could try to bounce. So just wait and see. Be very, very patient in the market like this, and I'll most definitely see you guys very soon on the next one. Thanks for listening, guys, and peace out.